We are getting more of the incredible details through the day today of the robbery at the Louvre Museum, one that took less than 7 minutes from the moment the group of 3 or 4 thieves broke into the first floor of the southeast building of the museum, smashing a window, dressed, it's reported, as workmen. 9:30 this morning, broad daylight, and using an extendable power ladder from outside, using then a workman's lift to get into the room they'd targeted. It's been described by Laurent Nunez, the Interior Minister, as priceless historical and cultural value that's been taken. It's not clear exact at the moment as to what has been removed, but jewellery from 2 displays at the museum's Apollo Gallery is where the jewels were taken. It holds the remnants of the French crown jewels. The Louvre, as you can see here, earlier closed shortly after. Exceptional reasons, it said. And authorities recovered a 19th century gem-encrusted crown near the museum, but the culprit's still at large and the target of a manhunt. Let's bring in Arthur Brand, historian detective, as I mentioned at the top, the so-called Indiana Jones of the art world, celebrated for recovering priceless works of Dali, Picasso, Van Gogh, and joins us on the programme. Welcome to France 24 tonight, Arthur. Let me ask your initial thoughts about how brazen this was and how quick it was too.
Well, it's the theft of the decade, targeting the Louvre and stealing the crown jewels related to Napoleon. It's the ultimate heist. This is something you see in movies like Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. So it's the theft of the decade.
Your immediate sort of questions, you look a lot at museums, museum security. What questions do you have right now about just how this came about, 9:30, broad daylight, the speed of it, why they might have chose this morning, for example?
Well, it's Sunday morning. It's the quietest morning in the week. People are recovering from Saturday night, and it seems like a very simple theft. They used this ladder. They entered. It took them 7 minutes to break the glass, which was not thick enough, obviously, and they went away with all these crown jewels. So something was wrong in the Louvre, not only today but apparently already before, because it went too easy.
What do you mean? Talk to me about the comparisons that you perhaps have looked at in the past. Heists where security's been of question, and what you've made in the past of the security at the Louvre.
Well, it's not that difficult to steal something from a museum. You can take a gun with you. The problem is what museums should do is they should slow these thieves down. What they do is they go 2 or 3 weeks before these thieves enter the museum, and they look at the glass, the vitrines, the doors, and they know they have only like 7 minutes before the police arrives. And in this case, they thought we can take this chance, and it happened. So the glass was not thick enough. It was too easy to enter the doors. It was a complete disaster, this one.
I've seen your comment today that you've said this is a mistake for the thieves because French security services will no doubt be involved. The scale and the shock of this. Tell us about that.
Well, if you target any museum, you get the police after you. But in this case, the Louvre, the most important museum in the world, stealing the crown jewels, Napoleon, it's too much. This is headlines all over the world, and the fear is if you can do this heist at the Louvre, it can happen everywhere. So it's a bad day for the museum world, and I hope they will be recovered pretty soon. Let's fingers crossed.
Given your experience in detective work, given your past, your advice is always going to be fairly valuable right now. What are your thoughts about the best way to catch them, the best method to go about it? Is there a key period? I imagine it's right at the start. And is there much chance?
These guys will lay low for a while because there is too much news now, too much media. And, I think the police, if they catch them within a week, we might see these pieces back. If it takes longer, it will be difficult because most likely they will try to get rid of it as soon as possible. They might already have a plan. They might know people who can dismantle these jewels, who can melt stuff down. So it's a race against time. But as said, it's the Louvre, Napoleon, the French Secret Service will be on this case. all the police officers who are on leave in Paris will be called in. So it will be a real manhunt as France never has seen before in these cases.
Well, you get to the heart of something for any art lovers, and Laurent Nunez, the French Interior Minister, mentioned it as well. It's an incalculable price of things that have gone missing, whether it's to do with Napoleon, the Empress as well. All of that centuries of diamonds, and the fact that, as you talk about potentially now being cut up or being sold if they to do it because you couldn't sell it as it is, as you say, within the art world, nobody would want that. Does the fact that they've dropped something tell you about the professionalism, the care or lack of for the items?
No, this happens often. They only have 7 minutes. They take as much as they can, and they know that something can fall out of their hands. I think this was not their first theft. You don't wake up in the morning as a normal citizen thinking, I become a criminal, let's do a robbery, let's target the Louvre. So these guys are known by the police. They have a criminal record. They have done heists before, maybe banks, jewelry shops, something like that. These are professionals, and in 7 minutes they targeted the Louvre, and the whole world is now talking about it.
Selling this on, what do you predict they will try and do? You talk about trying to smash it down. I mean, anybody listening to this is a kind of heartbreak to know that this potentially could be the last time in that form these things are seen. And yet we also heard you say, well, there's a kind of week where you'd be, is hopeful the wrong word or the right word, that there could be some redress here, a potential for
Well,
recuperation?
the thieves will be caught without a question. They will always get caught, and especially in this case, the Secret Service will be on it. The thing is, if you catch the thieves, that does not automatically mean that you get the loot. They might have sold it already to somebody. They might have melted it down. So that's a problem in these cases. It's a race against time.
Given your experience, are you getting any calls yet, Arthur, to be involved?
No, but if it takes too long for the police to catch them, and maybe someday, that has happened in the past, if these pieces are not being dismantled, I hope that someday I might get a call, from an informant. People talk, and in this case, there were 3, 4 people involved. They have to get rid of the stuff. They have to talk to people to persuade them to melt it down. And there is always somebody who knows something who might send me or the police an email.
The patron saint of lost causes, Arthur, give us some hope. Tell us something that you found which will cheer us up, to give us some optimism of this news.
Well, in many cases, the police in France is a very good police force, and they are on the job. They will catch the thieves for sure, and hopefully they will not have had enough time to get rid of these pieces. So we had a big robbery similar like this in Germany a couple of years ago. The thieves got caught. The jewels came back, most of them. 2 pieces are still missing. So there is hope, but it's not a good day for the museum world, and it's not 100% sure that we will see these pieces back. But as said, the French police will do their job, and if not, maybe they call me.
Really good to talk to you this evening. Thank you, Arthur. Arthur Brand, art historian and art detective. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon, hopefully with good news. Let's listen to what the Culture Minister, Rashida Dati, had to say about the value and about the ability of the thieves to take what they did.
Near the Louvre Museum, a piece of jewellery was indeed found and is currently being analysed. All of this is ongoing. We arrived immediately a few minutes after receiving information about this theft. This operation lasted almost 4 minutes. It was very quick. It must be said that these are professionals. Organised crime today targets art, and museums have obviously become targets. Because France, as you know, is a country with a rich historical heritage of great value, and so these museums have also become targets for these criminals.
Cross to the Louvre. Let's bring in Shirli Sitbon, our correspondent there. Shirli, it was quite incredible listening to Arthur Brand, art detective, saying this is the crime of the decade in the art world. And, there is this 7-day period that he believes is the best chance. And then after that, it's potentially all of this diamonds, jewellery smashed up and sold. Tell us what it's like being there right now, what the Louvre is saying about it. I don't think we have any explicit details of what was taken yet, do we? And about the security as well, what you're hearing about that.
Well, the feeling here is not as dramatic as what we just heard on air from the expert who knows what the situation is and the threat, of course, for those jewels, historic jewels. Here, it's more people who are stunned, who are surprised, who cannot believe. They feel like they're watching a movie. It's unbelievable. They say, many people that we've talked to, that thieves would actually bring their own lift, their goods lift, next to the museum and just get inside through a window to the most prestigious gallery, the Apollo Gallery, and just break open the window and take 9 pieces of invaluable jewelry, and then just come back out without harming anyone and just escape. Of course, they left this a crown that was damaged, but they left. Since then, of course, the investigation has moved forward. The motorcycle has been found. Also, the element that helped open this window, get inside. But all this in 7 minutes. Incredible. If it were a movie, people would say this is so unlikely. And we're seeing this here. So, yes, people are stunned, a bit disappointed. Some of them who wanted to visit the museum today and who are leaving the country and may not have another chance to do so, but they have a story to tell, definitely. There's not a dramatic sense yet around here outside the museum. I imagine that inside there is a dramatic sense, of course.
When we can see it as well, just behind you, we've got a close-up of some of the forensics there, the crime scene that's now become the Louvre. Any word, I guess, while the investigations continue, it will be closed, but there's no word on when tourists, art lovers can go back to the Louvre?
Well, the museum said it's closed for the day. It didn't say it will be closed tomorrow as well. We saw for several hours now various police experts, investigators searching that window. Of course, that's all we could see was the window and various cars, this lift that was examined for several hours until they took it out of the area and opened the road again. We had several hours, many police there watching this very closely. And, they've already managed to find some of the elements, this motorcycle. People here are hopeful that this will happen. You talked about security. Well, on the other side, we know the Apollo Gallery is on this side, right? On the other side, you have the actual main entrance. Now, that has been scaled up in recent years to avoid potential terrorist attacks, to improve security. But there are also robberies, and that type of robbery, those types of operations also need to be stopped. And the museum and other French museums as well have not worked on that enough. They need means, they need resources, manpower, and technical, they need to put up beams. There's a plan in place, but it hasn't been applied yet. And actually, people working on security at the museum have been fired. Jobs have been lost. So there was a protest. I mean, you probably talked about this back in June. Because of that, with employees saying there's not enough security. You took jobs down, and we need them back up, and even actually more security, because museums are a target, and the Louvre is the first among those.
Very interesting point, actually. It's one French MP has raised that today, the fact that the strikes could have had inextricable links to the level of securities, because the security staff are amongst those that it was affecting as well. Let me ask you something else. A lot of people, the visceral thought when you think about the Louvre and something going missing, first thing a lot of people I got messages about was the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa went missing in 1911. 3 years later, it was restored, found in Italy. You've been inside the Louvre, you've looked around. The Apollo Gallery, people will wonder what it's like, how secure it seems, how easy it would be to walk in, to walk out. What's it like inside there?
Well, we learned today that it's very easy to get in through the window, apparently, but it's a beautiful gallery, one of the most prestigious galleries here. All of the crown jewels are in it. There's the biggest, the historic diamond, the biggest of this collection. Used to be the world's largest diamond. There's the crown of King Louis XV, which is very prestigious. I mean, and of course, as you've said, everyone who comes over here and asks us the question saying, oh, the Louvre was robbed, is the Mona Lisa okay? I mean, even my son, when I told him, he said, is the Mona Lisa okay? Is it still there? Because that's really something people are very attached to. But also this gallery. It's very beautiful. It's historic elements. The French are extremely attached to it. And also visitors from across the world always go to see the Apollo Gallery. It's really one of the main centers of this museum. This is really a centerpiece. It's French history, and it's also so beautiful and prestigious.
Very good to hear that explanation of what it's like inside. Shirley, your day started so differently this morning. Great to hear from you. A long day outside the Louvre. Shirli Sitbon, our correspondent. And let's also listen to Laurent Nunez, the Interior Minister, because he was picking up on the point about security. This is what he told reporters.
We are well aware that French museums are highly vulnerable, which is why the Minister for Culture has launched a security plan. The Louvre Museum is no exception. There is a project called Louvre Nouvelle Renaissance, which includes measures to strengthen security. Regular audits are carried out, and access controls within the Louvre Museum are nothing like they were just a few years ago. There are checks, searches, and pat-downs, and there are security guards in every room, so security has obviously been stepped up.